What's good, y'all? I'm back. I'm gonna be giving you guys tips and advice on how to start conversations and ultimately be more comfortable, talking to people, whether it's family, strangers, friends, whatever the case may be. I know a lot of people struggle with having conversations, so I just want to give you guys tips that help me and that work for me and really just help me talk to people. Now, the first thing I want you guys to know is that not everybody is going to be good at having conversations that you're talking to. So you can do everything right. Like me, for example, I could talk about anything. I can carry a conversation whenever, and the other person, if they're not reciprocating the conversation, then just drop it. Just cut it off. Just stop it, because that's just wasting energy. Now, if a person is shy, that's different, but it comes to a point in time to where people, by their actions, they'll show you when they're interested and when they're not interested. If a person really is interested in what you have to say, they will try their hardest to let you know that. You know what I'm saying? So the main thing that you should focus on when you're having conversations is making the person as comfortable as possible. You know what I'm saying? So one way you could do that is talk about things that they may like. Ask questions. Questions are the most important thing with conversations. A lot of people get annoyed with asking questions, but just ask like the right questions. Like, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? What's your dream, goals, or anything along those lines? And if depending on what they say, you could talk about things that you may like. You could relate to them, and it's just a whole bunch of things that you could do to like kind of get them out of their box. So the more comfortable a person is with you, the more they're willing to talk to you, the more they're willing to open up. And then when they're opening up, that's when you kind of get that connection, that vibe. Now, another thing that helps out a whole lot is gradually increase your knowledge on just like a lot of things, whether it's sports, video games, life tips, whatever it is. Try to increase your general knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the easier it is to like kind of talk to people, because everybody is different. One person may like sports, one person may like video games, one person may like reading, whatever it is. Just try to increase your knowledge on just a variety of things, so no matter who you talk to, you could at least relate to them, or you could at least bring something to the subject, because let's say you don't really know too much outside of sports, and then because you don't know nothing outside of sports, it's going to be hard to really talk to people, because out of like 7 billion people, not a lot of people are gonna watch sports, or not a lot of people like sports. So just try to increase your knowledge. Another important thing that you have to develop is being direct. Being direct is very important, because small talk, now the thing with small talk isn't bad. Now, small talk, it can be good, but if it's not developing or it's not going nowhere, if the conversation isn't going nowhere, then small talk is very bad, because you're just wasting time. If your words are not more meaningful than simple silence, don't say nothing. Now, what that means is, if you can't contribute past small talk, or if you can't express your words in a meaningful manner, it's better to just stay silent. I was in the elevator with somebody, and somebody, talked to me on some small talk, and it was just, like about the weather or whatever it is. I don't care about that. But of course, don't be rude. I wasn't gonna, just say I don't care, but I just tried to avoid it, because at the end of the day, I think about it like this. A lot of people that you're talking to, a lot of people that talk to you, most times you will never ever see them again in your life. Try to contact them, whether it's through a phone, whatever it is. Try to get back with them, because if you talk to somebody and you can't really see yourself talking to them again, don't talk to them, because it's just a waste of time. Now, small talk can be good under circumstances to where it's like they're actually genuinely interested. Questions like, hey, how your day, or just something like that, it's not genuine. And sometimes it can be, but a lot of times people say the same things, the same exact things, and that's how you can kind of get an indication of whether somebody's truly interested in what you have to say. If they're truly interested, they'll try to approach you in a different manner than everybody else, And that's how you can really tell if a person cares about what you have to say. Now, those people, those are the people to where you can kind of get past that small talk level. Some people where you go to talk to them and it's a connection just like that. And what I mean by that is you don't have to say small talk. You can just say a couple words and already y'all are having deep, meaningful conversations. That's very rare, and I like to call that flow, meaning you don't even have to think about what you're saying. Some people, you have to think about, you know, what you're going to say next, and that's not a bad thing, but it's not really a good thing either. The best conversations are to where you guys can go back and forth and you don't even have to think about it. It's just natural. The way you can have that is just getting more comfortable with having conversations. Whether it's somebody in the street, you know, just go up, ask somebody how their day is, or try to approach somebody if you see somebody in help or in need or whatever. Try to approach people more. The more you approach people, the more comfortable, you know, you'll be with talking with people, because we all humans, we are all the same, you know, and a lot of people have nervousness, social anxiety, and a lot of other things and conditions with them. So if you know somebody like that, why not just be open about it? You know, a lot of people hide the fact that they're nervous in their conversation. Tell the person, hey, I'm nervous, you know, because when you're more open, it's like you have a weight lifted off your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? And the more open you become, the easier it is to have conversations, because like for me instance, I have nothing to hide. You know, if I'm talking to a stranger, I tell people what's on my mind. You know, if I have something to say, I say it, because it's like when you hide things, when you lie, when you try to avoid something, it is only going to get worse. And when you realize it's only going to get worse, then you'll try to, you know, be more open and be more direct, because directness is very, very important. I cannot stress this enough. Try to be as direct as possible and try to get to the point. A lot of people will try to avoid hurting your feelings, so a lot of times they're not going to say nothing. You have to be direct. You have to make people say what they mean, or if a lot of times they still don't, you have to cut it off, because at this day and age, a lot of people are fake. A lot of people will be friendly with you. A lot of people will pretend that they're interested only because they're not direct. If you can't be direct, then you're going to get let down a lot. You're going to have a lot of complications with people. A lot of those friends that you have in 10 years, 5 years, you're not going to be talking with them, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not genuine. Only when you're direct will you kind of be able to realize people who are genuine, people who are fake. This is probably one of the most important things, is to stop overthinking. Now, of course, easier said than done, right? But just think about it like this. You got to ask yourself, why are you nervous? Why am I thinking the way I am? Let's say you're talking to a girl or your crush or whatever. Think about in that moment why you're nervous, or like, because once you realize or kind of ask yourself these questions, you'll realize like, I shouldn't even be nervous. You know, like, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of people looking at you, talking about you, or anything like that? If the answer is yes, you have to realize, if people talk about you or people judge you for literally things that's out of your control, why are you even talking to them? Like, just cut them off, because those are the people who are insecure with themselves. Those are the people you do not want to be around. If you talking to people and they judge you for literally the littlest things, or things that you can't even control or that's out of your reach, don't talk to them. That's only going to harm you more. You want to talk to people who are real, people who understand you. Like, for those who have good family members, your moms, you know, your brothers, sisters, whoever that is, talk to them more, because those are the people who, no matter what, are going to support you. They're going to love you, you know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people are afraid of these things, being judged, being talked about, but you have to understand, when you give people power over you, it's a terrible thing. Words don't mean nothing unless you give it meaning. Let's say somebody's speaking in Spanish. You don't understand a word that they're saying. So if they cussing you out in Spanish, they can't do nothing to you. You know why? Because you don't know what you don't know what they're saying. So the words that they're saying can't do nothing to you. It can't harm you because you don't know what they're saying. You want to have that same mindset, only in English. If people talking about you behind your back, or if people, bullying you, whatever it is, don't give them power over you. Find those people, focus on yourself, and be more comfortable within your own skin. You cannot talk to nobody else when you're not comfortable with yourself. I say this in every video. You have to love yourself. I'm telling you, it starts with here, bro. It starts in here. The only way you can do anything in this life is you have to love yourself first. That's literally the most important thing. I'm telling you, that's the most important thing. You have to love yourself. Now, only when you love yourself is when you can do anything else. That's the most important thing. When you start to love yourself, when you start to be more comfortable with who you are as a person, then talking to people will become very easy. Now, of course, there's times, you might feel nervous, like if it's a job interview or something very important, that time to time you're going to be nervous. But overall, it's going to become a lot easier to talk to people, because you have to realize we're all human. People are going through the same things, or probably even worse than what you are. And then when you realize what people are going through, it makes you think that you're not alone. The things that you go through is not something that you alone go through, because we all deal with it. That's why it's important. Be open with people. Just be open with people. When you think about it, conversations are really beautiful, because it's like, once you start to understand it, once you start to have more conversations, it really is like beautiful. It's a beautiful thing when you talk to that person, you can talk to for hours. You don't even have to think about nothing. Y'all can literally talk about one subject for hours. It's a beautiful thing. But try to get out your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone, whatever it may be. Whenever you're at the store, you're shopping, try to go up and talk to people. Just do it. Try the 3-second rule. The 3-second rule is you give yourself 3 seconds to do something. You count 1, 2, 3, go. Just go and talk to people. The more you think about in here, the longer you think about doing an action, the worse it's going to be. The chances of you not doing it is going to increase, because your brain is going to give you excuses not to do it. That's why the moment you have in your brain you want to do something, you have to do it now. I'm telling you, this is so important, because as humans, it's natural for us to, procrastinate and come up with a lot of excuses. You have to do it in the moment. And only when you do it in that moment and you feel more comfortable, you do it over and over and over again, and you start to become less afraid of messing up, or less afraid of messing up your words or whatever it might be, or freezing up. That's when you'll realize, and you'll kind of start to, see a change within yourself. And when you see that change, then you'll be able to talk to a lot more people of different cultures, different backgrounds, with whatever it may be. You'll be able to talk to a lot more people. I'll catch you on the next video, and I'm out.